think you are alone in your head? You're wrong. You are currently being held hostage by a version of yourself that wants you to fail. Today, we end that hostage situation. You think you are one person, but you are not. You are two. Inside your head, a war is being fought every single second. One wants your greatness. The other wants your comfort. The higher self says, today, I'm going to study. I'm going to work harder than anyone else. I'm going to build my future. The shadow self says, not now, brother. Why the rush? Let's do it after some time. The world isn't running away. Relax, the higher self says. That's it. No more wasting time on social media. No more scrolling. I'm being productive. The shadow self says, wait. Let's do it from tomorrow. Today is the last day, right? One last scroll won't hurt. We'll be serious starting Monday. The higher self says, I'm just picking up the phone to check the time. I have work to finish. The shadow self says, but hey, look at that notification. Let's just check Instagram for 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes, I promise. The higher self says, 1 hour is gone. This is wrong. I'm destroying my life. The shadow self says, relax, brother. Why so much tension? Science even says this is good. It removes stress. Nothing is wrong. You're overthinking it. The higher self says, it's late. It's time to sleep. I need to wake up early to change my life. The shadow self says, just 15 minutes more. This video is interesting. You can sleep a little late. It won't matter. The higher self says, the alarm is ringing. Eyes open. This is the moment to get up. The shadow self says, close your eyes. 5 more minutes. You'll feel much better if you sleep just a little more. The bed is so warm. The higher self says, from now on, I will eat only healthy. No more junk food. The shadow self says, brother, what difference does this much make? It's just one day. Everyone else is eating. Let's eat today. The higher self says, I'm doing 10 minutes of meditation. I need to sharpen my mind. The shadow self says, from one day, what change is really going to happen? Your mind won't become fast in 10 minutes. Don't waste your energy. It's useless. The higher self says, I have to become rich. I have to earn money. I have to give my family a good life. The shadow self says, it's not easy, brother. And anyway, all of this is just a material illusion. Why struggle? Come on, open Netflix. Let's just forget about it. These debates happen between the two of them 150,000 times a year. And exactly how many times who wins is exactly how your life becomes. The cost of the internal debate, these are just some examples I have given, but you will be shocked to know how deep this goes. These internal battles happen 1,500 to 3,000 times a week, 6,000 to 15,000 times a month, and over 150,000 times a year. The higher self says, let's build a habit that makes us successful. The shadow self says, let's stay where it's comfortable and safe. Debates happen between the two regarding every single thing in your day. And how many times who wins and who loses. That is exactly how your life is built. The higher self says, I am confident and capable. The shadow self says, you are not ready yet. Just stay quiet. Don't take the risk. Your habits, whether they are good or bad, your confidence, your career, your happiness, and even how much money you are earning. Everything is a result of this internal war. The higher self says, we can achieve greatness. The shadow self says, it's too hard. Let's just survive. Let's just get through the day. Every decision you make is a victory for one and a defeat for the other. Who you are today is simply the score of this never-ending debate. The 21-day challenge disclaimer. In just 21 days, this video will unite the two people living inside you. When these two meet, they will no longer be divided. They will become one. And that one person will be the true you. Imagine your higher self saying, I want to take control of my life. And your shadow self replying, I am ready to follow your lead. When they become one, you can build any habit whenever you want. You can leave any addiction instantly. You can achieve anything in life because you are no longer fighting yourself. But before we move forward, here is a disclaimer. This challenge is only for those who are ready to look at their life from the outside. For the next 21 days, you must stand apart as a third person and watch your own mind. It's about observing without judgment, becoming a curious scientist of your own inner world. This isn't about blaming or shaming parts of yourself. It's about understanding them. It's about recognizing that every part of you, even the parts you don't like, has a story and a reason for being there. The goal is to integrate, not eliminate. Your higher self needs to say, I am ready to hear the truth. And your shadow self must be willing to say, I am ready to do the work. I am going to tell you some strange things, step by step. If you are ready to listen and take action, then stay. Otherwise, I humbly request you to leave this video right now. This journey requires commitment. It's not a magic pill. It's a conscious process of self-discovery and transformation. You'll confront uncomfortable truths and face aspects of yourself you've long ignored. But on the other side of that discomfort is a freedom you can't even imagine right now. It's the freedom from self-sabotage, from the constant internal battle that drains your energy and keeps you stuck. It's the freedom to be authentically, powerfully you. But if you choose to stay, I have one request. Take 10 to 12 minutes out of your busy schedule and watch this with full attention. This is not a normal video. This is a special event I bring only once a year on the Action Summary Hub. You can see the results of the last 2 episodes on your screen right now. These are real people, just like you, who decided to stop fighting themselves and start living. They took the leap, they did the work, and they reaped the rewards. Their stories are a testament to what's possible when you decide to become whole. This is your invitation to join them. This is your moment. Let's begin. The third person. You first of all, you have to accept this. These 2 people sitting inside you cannot do anything on their own until the third one allows them. And that third one is you. The higher self says, I want to grow. Let's study a little. Let's do the work now. The shadow self says, let's do it after some time. We have all day. Why the rush? When you're working and a notification pops up, the battle begins immediately. The higher self says, don't get distracted. We will check it later. The shadow self says, just see it once. It will only take 1 minute. It might be important now. Whose word you listen to, that depends entirely on you. The strange part is that this happens so fast that you don't even realize you've made a choice. It is only after the action is over that you realize whose word you followed. The higher self says, I should have been disciplined. I failed again. The shadow self says, it's too late now. You already failed, so you might as well keep relaxing. After snoozing the alarm and sleeping for 2 hours, you realize it was wrong. After scrolling through social media for hours, you realize your time was wasted. It happens with such speed that you don't even get a hint of it. The higher self says, I want to change my life. The shadow self says, it's impossible. You're addicted. This is just who you are. This is why 95% of people are stuck in bad habits. But on the Action Summary Hub, we are going to learn how to see these moments in slow motion. We will see how powerful people completely silence the shadow self and achieve their goals with ease. The higher self says, I am ready to learn. The shadow self says, I am ready to listen. Don't worry. We will understand everything step by step. I am not going to waste even 1 minute of your time on useless talk. Understanding the devil's control. You must have seen many people who don't even know they have become slaves. The voice of their higher self has been completely silenced. Think about those lost in deep addiction. They have no doubt about what they are doing. They have no concept of self-improvement, awareness, or self-control. The higher self says, I want to be better. I want to change. The shadow self says, there is no need to change. This is just who we are, but you are different. You have done the work. You have developed awareness. You know exactly what is right and what is wrong. Because of this, the shadow self cannot defeat you directly anymore. Instead, he defeats you with false logic. The higher self says, I need to study and work on my goals right now. The shadow self says, not now, brother. Let's definitely start first thing tomorrow morning. We'll be much more rested then. He will never tell you that you will fail tomorrow or the day after. He knows that would create too much tension and his plan would fail. So, he uses your own logic against you. The higher self says, I should start right this second. No more excuses. The shadow self says, let's eat breakfast first. We'll be much more productive on a full stomach. Or better yet, Tomorrow is Monday. A fresh start for a new week is much more professional. He will find any reason to delay you. The 1st of the month, the 10th, the 15th, New Year's Day, after the holidays, or after the weekend. He waits for the mood to be just right. The higher self says, I'm waiting for the perfect moment to begin. The shadow self says, exactly. And today just isn't it. Let's relax and wait for the right energy. And you listen. You tell yourself that he is right. You believe the logic, never realizing it is a trap specifically designed to keep you exactly where you are. The pattern of false logic. And you see, this pattern of false logic is everywhere. Imagine you are on day 9 of a new goal. You see a photo of a model on social media. The battle begins instantly. The higher self says, keep scrolling, stay focused on your work. The shadow self says, oh, let's just look. What is the harm in seeing? Just zoom in a little bit. We won't do anything else, I promise. Just like this, the logic slowly changes. He starts giving you excuses. The higher self says, I should stay disciplined today. The shadow self says, why be so strict? Even science says this reduces stress. It's actually healthy to relax just this once. And just like that, you are convinced. You see it on your diet too. Your friends are eating pizza. The higher self says, no, stay on the diet. Eat something healthy. The shadow self says, just eat a little. Your friends aren't here every day. Why be so boring? One slice won't change anything. You're studying. You're working. And then your phone pings. The higher self says, ignore it. Finish the task first. The shadow self says, it might be an important message. Maybe it's that person who hasn't replied in 10 days. Just check it for a second. And then, 1 hour is gone in mindless scrolling. In every part of your life, this voice puts false logic in front of you and convinces you to fail. The higher self says, my enemy is the phone. My enemy is laziness. The shadow self says, it's not your fault. The world is just distracting. But the truth is, your enemy is not anywhere outside. It is not the smartphone. It is not bad habits. And it is not procrastination. Your biggest enemy is this shadow self sitting inside you. Rule 1. The law of opposite command to weaken and finally defeat the enemy inside you. And to make your higher self strong, there are 3 rules you must follow. Do not miss even a single one. Rule number 1 directly attacks the source of your failure. We are going to break his power until he is almost finished. The higher self says, I am ready to take back control. The shadow self says, you won't last 3 days. Until now, you and your higher self were listening to this voice of comfort. Whatever he told you to do, you did. But starting now, whatever he says, you must immediately do the exact opposite. The higher self says, I have to sleep at 11 o'clock tonight. The shadow self says, not now, brother. Let's stay up just a little longer. It's early. This is where you change. You don't just sleep at 11. You sleep at 10:30. You challenge him. You stop listening to a single word he says. The higher self says, I am putting the phone away now. The shadow self says, just check it one more time. It's right there. No, close the phone right now. He tells you to relax a little. You decide that right now is the best time to work. He says you have no mood to study. You tell yourself that this is exactly the time when studying is most important. The higher self says, I'm waking up the moment the alarm rings. The shadow self says, let's sleep 10 minutes more. You're so tired. Tell him, I have been hearing this same lie for many years. Get up right now. When he says we will do it later or we will do it tomorrow, you tell him that means we will do it right now. The higher self says, I am following the law of opposite command. The shadow self says, tomorrow is better. Tomorrow never came. This is the law of opposite command. The rule of the reverse order. Whatever he wants, you do the opposite. That is how you win. Conquering the devil through action. Right now, you must be thinking that this is just motivation. You are thinking that nothing happens with this. But look closely. Who is saying this thing to you? The higher self says, this could be the answer I've been looking for. The shadow self says, this won't work. It's just more talk. Let's find something else. I told you, he is very clever. He doesn't let you know he is there. and he makes you do everything you don't even want to do. But don't worry. There is a solution in the next rule. When you start doing the opposite of what he wants, he will be in shock. He will scream because his control is slipping. He will fight you every step of the way. The higher self says, I'm going to take a cold shower and wake up. The shadow self says, don't do it. You'll catch a cold. You'll get sick. It's too uncomfortable. The higher self says, I'm putting the phone in another room. The shadow self says, why are you making life so boring? You're missing out on everything. Just look at it for a minute. But if you keep doing the opposite of his every word, in 7 days, he will become quite weak. And in 21 days, his voice will become nothing more than background noise. You will automatically start doing the things that are actually important for you. Real-life examples: Goggins and Choice. Listen carefully to these two real-life examples. The first is a man named David Goggins. By practicing this one principle, he transformed himself into the toughest man alive. The higher self says, I will wake up at 6 and run 20 kilometers today. The shadow self says, wait, look outside. It's freezing and raining. Let's just sleep in and go tomorrow. Most people listen to that voice and stay in bed. But Goggins does the exact opposite. If it rains or snows, he doesn't just run 20 kilometers. He runs 40. He understands that when the conditions are at their worst, that is the best time to defeat his weaker side. The higher self says, I work when I don't feel like it. The shadow self says, but we have no mood today. Let's rest. Goggins ignores the mood. He does the work because he has practiced the rule of the reverse order. I will bring a full, detailed video on him soon here on the Action Summary Hub that will truly unlock your mind. So, make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon. The second example is a relative of mine who struggled with a deep addiction for a long time. He tried to quit many times, but failed. This time, after 5 or 6 days of being clean, his mind was screaming for his old habit. The higher self says, I'm stronger than this addiction. The shadow self says, you need it. Just one more time. You can't survive without it. But this time, he did something radical. He bought the substance, kept it right in front of him, and established an alter ego in his mind. He looked at it and challenged himself. The higher self says, go ahead, try to take it. Show me how weak you really are. The shadow self says, I can't. Not like this. By facing his demon head on and refusing to break, he has now been free from that addiction for months. You must do the same. Whatever your shadow self tells you to do, immediately do the opposite. Do not break. Do not agree. In 21 days, that devil inside you will be almost finished. Rule 2. Breaking the autopilot. Rule number 1. The opposite command will only work if you know exactly when and who is speaking. As I said before, these thoughts happen so fast that you don't even realize you've been hijacked. To stop this, we need the most powerful rule of all: breaking the autopilot. The higher self says, I need to be aware of what is happening in my head. The shadow self says, there's nothing to see here. Just keep scrolling. Don't think too much. Let's do a reality check right now. Pause this video. Ask yourself or ask that voice inside exactly this. What am I thinking right now? What is my next thought? Suddenly, everything goes silent. The mind becomes completely blank. You won't get an answer. Do you know why? Because until now, your life has been running on autopilot. The higher self says, I am in control of my actions. The shadow self says, no, you aren't. You pick up the phone the moment it pings. You delay your work without a second thought. You eat whatever is in front of you. You make a promise to yourself one moment, and you break it the next. You sit down to study, but your mind starts overthinking. Music and social media loops are playing in your head. This happens because you aren't actually there. Someone else is running the show. The higher self says, who is really picking up my phone right now? The shadow self says, it doesn't matter. Just check Instagram. It's a habit. Have you noticed? Sometimes no one called you. No notification popped up. No vibration happened. But your hand automatically reached out and opened an app. Who did that? Did you ask yourself? Of course not. You weren't there to ask. The higher self says, I am waking up to the truth. The shadow self says, go back to sleep. It's easier this way. As soon as your attention drifts away, you disappear, and the autopilot takes over again. Those same old memories, the same overthinking, the same 4 or 5 glitch habits. To win, you must stay present. You must break the machine, the practice of consciousness. Now, what must you do? Listen carefully. Can you take any action without a thought first? To go to the gym, to study, to use your phone, or to eat, a thought must come before the action. Direct action is impossible without it, right? The higher self says, I need to watch my thoughts before they become actions. The shadow self says, that sounds too difficult. Just act first and think later. It's faster that way. The problem is that we aren't even able to see our actions, let alone our thoughts. We are living in a state of deep unconsciousness. The solution is simple. Your presence. When you stay in full awareness, everything slows down. You see life in slow motion. The higher self says, I will sit in silence and observe. The shadow self says, this is boring. Nothing is happening. Your mind is too loud to ever settle down. Twice a day, sit with yourself. Pick one thing to focus on: your breath, your body, or some meditation music. Whatever your age is, sit for that many minutes. If you are 20 years old, sit for 20 minutes. The higher self says, my mind is wandering. I will gently bring it back. The shadow self says, see, it ran away again. You're bad at this. Just give up. Do not listen to him. This is a practice. At first, your mind will run 20 times in 1 minute. But if you keep sitting, it will slow to 10 times, then 5. Eventually, you will become fully conscious. You will become free from the constant noise of your thoughts. The higher self says, I am separating myself from my thoughts. The shadow self says, wait, if you aren't your thoughts, then who are you? Right there in that separation is where you gain total control. From the very first day, you will see the difference. You will reach the zero thought state, the most powerful state in the world. Changing habits or increasing focus will become easy. In that state, miracles happen. Manifesting your desires, having a perfect memory, even sensing the energy of others, these things become possible. We will talk about those deeper powers in another video. For now, focus on this. Build your base. Become conscious. Rule 3. Reprogramming the subconscious. So now that your thoughts are under your control, you can do whatever you want by running the thoughts you choose. Remember what I said earlier. The strength of the shadow self is emotions and feelings. The strength of the higher self is logic and critical thinking. The higher self says, I will use my logic to plan my future. But the shadow self says, logic is boring. I want to feel something right now. Just as the shadow self used false logic to defeat you before, you will now use feelings and emotions to defeat it. You see, the shadow self isn't actually your enemy. It's just that since childhood, this part of you has been programmed poorly. Your higher self says, I am reprogramming my subconscious mind. The shadow self replies, I don't know what's right or wrong. I only know what I feel. And that is the key. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. Think about when you watch a movie. You know it's not real, but you still cry or feel excitement because it uses feelings and emotions. That is the language your mind speaks. So the higher self says, I am successful, disciplined, and strong. And the shadow self starts to listen, saying, tell me more. I'm starting to believe it. Whatever habit you want to build or whatever addiction you want to leave, you must say it to yourself repeatedly every single day. You must visualize your success while feeling it with full emotion and total belief. Because feelings are the only language the subconscious understands. Your higher self says, I can see my future clearly. I can feel the victory already. And the shadow self finally agrees. Then let's make it happen together. When you align your emotions with your goals, you will be stunned by the results. The two people inside you will finally become one, and that one person will be unstoppable. The power of visualization. If you still don't believe in the power of your mind, then I want you to try this 5-minute experiment today. Before you go to sleep tonight, sit down and close your eyes. Take a deep breath and speak to your subconscious. I am waking up early tomorrow morning at 5:30. I am putting on my shoes, going outside and starting my run. That sounds impossible. We love to sleep in. You must repeat this 10 to 15 times while fully feeling and visualizing every detail. See yourself tying your laces. Feel the cold air on your face. Act as if you are actually doing it right now. Do this for just 5 minutes and then go to sleep. Mark my words, your eyes will open exactly at 5:30. Wait, how did we wake up so easily? This practice is incredibly powerful. Even while you are walking down the street, try it. Tell yourself, I am super confident. I am the best. You will notice your posture change immediately. Your body starts responding to the command of your higher self. I am talented. I am a genius. I am focused. I feel different. I feel stronger. You can apply this to any habit or any goal. Just close your eyes and imagine yourself already in that situation. See yourself waking up at 5 in the morning, walking with confidence, looking sharp, and ignoring your phone to study with total focus. I am not the person who follows bad habits anymore. I am the person who achieves greatness. I believe you. Let's change together. Whatever habit you want to build or leave behind, create 5 or 6 strong affirmations. Visualize them. Whenever you find a moment during the day, do this. Reprogram your mind, and you will reprogram your life. Final call to action. Now, listen closely to what happens next. You are finally aware that the movie you run in your mind, the things you make yourself feel, is the only truth your subconscious knows. Once it believes that truth, it will help you do exactly what you want. The higher self says, taking action is becoming so easy for me now. There are no limits. The shadow self says, I am no longer fighting you. I am working with you. This is the most powerful technique in the world, used by legends like Cristiano Ronaldo and Robert Downey Jr. These are the rules you need to break any addiction, to do the hard work, and to achieve every single goal in your life. The higher self says, I accept the 21-day challenge. The shadow self says, I am ready to change my habits. Right now, I want you to type in the comments, I accept the 21-day challenge. Write down 3 habits you are going to work on starting today. Go ahead, commit to it. And if you want to see how I stay productive every day, how I balance work, movies, and rest while staying on top of my game, I have a special gift for you. I have created a full roadmap on how to build a perfect daily routine that you will actually enjoy following. The higher self says, I am going to kill it in life. The shadow self says, I am ready for the roadmap. I have given you the full strategy in this video right here on the Action Summary Hub. Save it for later, watch it again, and start your journey. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for watching.